Hello and welcome to another episode of Comics, Etc. I'm assuming that he was about to say that, and I think it's his turn to do it. It's 17!
In today's episode, we're going to do something completely unexpected.
I know.
We're going to review comics.
Oh, you didn't see that coming.
Boom!
Blew your mind.
Boom! Mr. Hueth is sticking with his new shtick.
Oh yeah, picked up a copy of I didn't actually pick it up, I read it for you. I read, and you know what, why am I telling you this? You'll see. You'll all see.
And I went back to my old one, where I just tell you things that I like, instead of doing one that I didn't like and one that I did like, because that was making me sad.
Yeah. I know we normally don't do this, but in the next couple weeks, I'm going to be releasing a personal video of the Trade Tuesdays, which we totally have been doing, of this little treat that I just picked up.
Oh yeah.
Predator versus Judge Dredd versus Aliens.
Sweet.
Now, this can only be amazing.
Only.
I'm assuming I'm going to give it a 10 out of 10, but soon I'm going to have a video up. It might just be me playing Alien Isolation to it, or just me pretending to be Judge Dredd.
So expect that in the future. It's going to be Très Magnifique. That's French for Très Magnifique.
Are we ready?
We're so ready.
You look ready.
Here come the reviews!
I'm not talking about this today. Wicked and the Divine, issue 5. Now, even though I really like this issue, I didn't want to do a review on this one today. I wanted to do Hobgoblin, issue 1. But, as Guy pointed out, it's issue 5, which means it's the end of the arc, so we have to talk about it. This issue gets before we even start, it gets a 9 out of 10. Because, see. In this issue, Lucy is rampaging, and then the lady who is one of the coolest characters I've ever met, but I still have no idea what her name is, decides, she's like, nah, I'm gonna help, and then some other god's like, hey, don't do that, and then some other god's like, hey, don't do that, we're gonna beat you up,
Yeah, there's some punching.
Yeah, some good action. Hey, don't do that, I got kicked in the face by a kid today. I can't spoil the rest of it, but there's god fights, and then Laura goes through drastic measures to save the one person she idolizes. What will she do to save the life of the fallen sun? Or is it fallen star?
It's Fallen Star, but I like that.
It's an amazing issue. Steps up the action, steps up the drama. Writing, I find infinitely better. It's not as juvenile, and even though we argue semantics about whether it's supposed to be juvenile or it's just negligent, this one stepped up its game. Super good. If you were picking up the series already, you already know what I'm talking about. If you don't, I recommend waiting for the trade to come out and totally picking that up, because it's going to be awesome. Yeah, 9 out of 10. Wicked and the Divine.
Here comes the next part! I didn't grab the copy again. But now I have it. It's the Avengers, number 37. And it's part of that event that's happening in the future, but isn't an event yet. But it's happening now, even though it's happening in the future. Kind of like the Edge of Spider-Verse, but not at all like that. So, we're seeing how in 7 months time runs out. And the Illuminati are on the run. And Steve is the head of S.H.I.E.L.D., Carol's in S.H.I.E.L.D., the super militarized. I had a problem with all of this. I did. I was very upset. Because I love the Avengers. I love where they've been going so far. And to see them suddenly militarized, I was like, when I first saw the concept, when they introduced it, I think it was in the last issue of the Avengers, I was not a happy camper. In the new Avengers issue, where they showed the Illuminati on the run, I was like, I don't know, something about this just feels awkward. You know, heroes fighting heroes again, aren't we trying to get past that? Like, it just seems like a bunch of garbage. Which is kind of my problem with the newest issue of Axis, if you haven't read it. Garbage. No, it's not garbage, but the conflict. That's neither here nor there. But in this issue, we finally discover that one of the members of Steve's task force isn't so loyal to Steve. And I think he kind of deserves it, because after his actions in Axis, and after his actions in this comic, I feel like he's being kind of a self-righteous jerk. And so I think I'm really glad he got his comeuppance. And it was really nice to see this character was working with the Illuminati still, because I was like, how are you going to do them like that? But this person, I'm not going to say the gender, did not do it. It was awesome, and I loved it. And now I actually want to know how and why time will run out. So, in the first take I did of this, I gave it an 8, but then we lost that data. So now I feel better about myself, because I feel worse about myself. I'm giving it an 8.5 out of 10. I thought it was great. I like that it's finally got me interested in this Time Runs Out series again. I want to see where it's going. Check it out. Multiple.
Ah!
I added that earlier.
Let the bodies hit the floor! It's not bodies, though. It's Harley Quinn, issue 11. This is my comic of the day that I don't pick up this series. I've wanted to, but every time I want to pick it up, I can't find either issue 1 or 2. I may just cave and buy the trade, but honestly, I want the single issues. We've got Harley Quinn, Power Girl, and hilarity ensues. The art in this one has a really nice mixture of realism and, like, I don't know if you call it, like, humor? Just humor in general. It's more like a comic-y feel. Like, it's very, like, over-the-top expressions, very ridiculous things happening. Like, I mean, Harley Quinn. If you've been following the series, you probably know more than I do. So, what happens in this issue? A dude, who I don't know who he is, shows up to a lady's house who I don't know who she is. And then they talk to another person who I don't know who they are. And then they get a call from Harley Quinn, who's like, hey, there's something I need help with. And then that thing they need help with is her, who crashed into something, and she has amnesia. This was a very good issue. I give this a 8 out of 10. That's right. I put a 8 out of 10. It's actually just 8. Now, before I stop talking about this, I want to talk about this month's variant cover of this issue. Harley Quinn as a were-jackal. Now, I especially love this cover because of the fact that her and Joker had jackals. I'm like, ooh, yay, it's their babies, and now she's a were-jackal. So this one gets a 8.2 out of 10, or a 8.2, because jackal, yay. That's all I have to say about that.
My second comic, and the one I am much, much, much more excited for, is the newest issue of Catwoman. Issue 35, and we're finally seeing the fruition? We're finally seeing the realization of the future that was shown in episode 28 of Batman, the main run, where Catwoman is the crime boss of Gotham. I don't know why I said it like that. Crime boss. And it's awesome. I've always had sort of this love-hate relationship with Selina Kyle, or sometimes I really like her, sometimes I don't. This is a Selina Kyle I can get behind. She's fierce, she's running the city, and I think not many people would imagine Selina as the head of Gotham, but I think it's a role that suits her well. It's a costume that she owns, it belongs to her, and I think the story is going to be great. I really am excited to see her go toe-to-toe with the crime bosses, and I'm excited to see another part of Gotham. Gotham Academy has some of that street-level Gothamness, but it's, you know, teen drama mixed in, but I don't think it gives us exactly what I'm looking for, and this I kind of like. Street-level Gotham, somewhat ordinary people, seeing how they, you know, criminals and everything interact. I'm super excited. And the art is fantastic. Like, I was surprised by just how sharp it was. It reminded me a lot of Sean Gordon Murphy's art, and I love his art. It's like one of the best compliments I could give to an artist. I just thought the whole thing was fantastic. It was great. Great, I don't know. 9 out of 10. Just, it wasn't quite amazing. It made me excited. I have really enjoyed it, but it didn't resonate with me on any, like, personal level. It was just really fantastically good. If you were looking for a new series to pick up, or if you've been waiting for Catwoman to be cool, this is it. Jump on it. Put it on your pull list. Like I put it on my pull list, because I'm not pulling your leg.
Oh, nom nom!
Those were the reviews!
It was amazing. Hey!
Hey!
You know what time it is.
We really need a soundbite. I think we're going to use that from now on. We're not even going to say it anymore. It's just every time. This issue
25. Issue hand hug. What do you have to say about this issue?
Well, what I want to say first and foremost, and I thought it as soon as I saw the solicit for this, I love this cover. And I just think it's really sharp, and even though it was only kind of a segment, well, actually, they devoted a bit of time to it in this issue, a little bit more than usual.
One thing I really like about this cover, like you said, just the battle, but I like the fact that they use the motif of purple against green, like, really well, and then Superman stands out so much, showing how he's just one person against all of Brainiac.
You know, I didn't even think of that. Yeah, that's right. It's him struggling against this wave of Brainiac, especially because we find out in this one some really kind of, well, I mean, it's stuff we already knew, but, you know, like the main Brainiac hive mind, or not hive mind, but...
I'm disappointed in that little twist.
But the other thing I want to touch on is I think Clark Kent sports a wonderful beard.
It is pretty good.
Yeah, you got to check this out.
It might be the new look. I mean, he had the mullet.
He had the mullet.
He had the curly Q.
Yeah.
He may be bearded Superman now.
I have no problem with the bearded Superman, although I think they've shown Celestis where he shaved it already. But you should go back to it. Bearded Superman. He gets a 10 out of 10 from the two of us.
Yeah.
Well, first let's say, based on the cover alone, let's cover it to 10 out of 10.
Cover 10 out of 10,
Very well
yeah.
done. This story is a story I want to read. The story I actually read. So let's get the boring stuff out of the way first.
Okay.
More Ronnie
so that
and
was
Madison.
the review then.
More Ronnie and Madison. And then there was some Ronnie and Raymond.
I kind of liked that one, only because even though it's just reiterating the same conversation they've had 8 times now, this one, it was kind of, not a reverse.
But it was genuine, I
Yeah,
felt.
it was all like, we need to help them. Like, it's not even like I need this for me. It's all like, no, we need to save these people. We are a superhero.
Yeah.
We need to do this. And it's like, no! You kept me in there for weeks, dude!
Yeah, you jackass!
And he's like, okay, yeah, you're right.
And he even admitted, yeah, I was kind of a jerk, I'm sorry. Like, I thought that was really nice, because I don't know where this sudden change of heart came from. Maybe it's all this time hanging out with Tim's girlfriend.
Yeah.
But, I was surprised. I was expecting, Ronnie, but then I was like, oh. That plot line wasn't terrible. Nice little characterization. And we finally made the full push for Dr. Yamamoto,
Dr.
Yamakaze.
Yakuza.
Dr. Yam, a bad guy. To make the full shift into bad
Dr.
guy.
Teleporter. He seems like a really ham-handed, like, golden age villain right now.
Which I guess is kind of cool. I mean...
It's a good throwback, but it's also, like...
out of place.
It's so out of place. Like, with the 90s-esque, like... We've been past this issue for a while. Joker Batman.
Yeah.
Like, with that 90s-esque plot twist going
Machine
on.
gun hand!
And, like, our return to, the mid-2000s, emotional, damaged everyone. Like, we're just mixing genres right now in one comic.
Okay, we're gonna talk about this real quick. On the one hand, Mr. Hueth here is disappointed by the Brainiac reveal. I, on the other hand, like this concept of a Brainiac Prime, so to speak, without giving anything away.
Yeah, well, I like that concept. It's the direction they're taking that concept that I don't like. It's one of those things.
It's kind of hard to say because
it's spoilers.
We'll talk about it more next week.
Yeah.
But the way they're handling it does not please you.
No.
Okay.
The wordage, the verbiage, the concept I like. That would be a cool idea, but we'll talk about it later. So, if you had to give this a numerical value, preferably out of 10, what would it be?
Preferably.
I'm not going to restrict you. I'm not that kind of person.
It was a really subtle step up from last week. I thought it was thoroughly more enjoyable to read than last week's.
Yeah.
I'd probably give it like a 7. Like I think, you know, I'm kind of impressed with some of the ideas that they're throwing out there. Again, with the whole Brainiac thing. I'm going to give them the benefit of the doubt. I think it's a cool premise. I'm hoping they're really going to do something with this. And I would give it higher. Actually, now I'm even tempted to give it a 6.5. I'm going to say it's 7. Just because I'm kind of tired of this leave me alone Superman. Like, he's kind of bothering me.
I'm going to give this one a 6 out of 10 because It's not really that Brainiac thing. It's just like, this seems like it is a step in the right direction, but I think it's like a tiny little step. When we've seen him take like huge steps, it's like, oh! And now it's just like, huh? And it's like, you could have been doing this at the very beginning, and it would be acceptable.
This series made a Golden Age Superman leap before, and now it's making like a Golden Age
Sloth Man.
baby Bruce Wayne leap. That was the end of our reviews. We've got so many more exciting things coming in the days to come, though. It looks like I'm making those sound effects, though. They're gonna know it's not a machine.
It's authentic.
I am a sound effect machine.
We use actual effects for two reasons. One, we believe in the artistic merit of them, and we don't have the money for it.
But it's mostly the first one. As we've already said, we've got a Trade Tuesday coming out soon, featuring this handsome gem. Next week we'll probably have a Trade Tuesday out featuring Mix. Yay! For the first time in quite a while, a miscellaneous Monday featuring Mr. Hueth.
I apologize in advance if while you watch it sounds like I'm unprepared, because it was. I'm unprepared talking about it.
And by unprepared, he means just passionate and raw.
So passionate.
Alright! So thank you for joining us once again this week. Beautiful. You're beautiful. All of you. Yes. Thank you for watching. Like the video. Comment down below. And subscribe.
Please and thank you.
And as always,
remember who you are, what you are.
Don't go causing any trouble out there in the crazy world.
And Superman ain't so super. Unless you think that having superpowers and being an alien and getting a whole bunch of ladies that are like, oh, Superman's amazing, and all the guys are like, oh, Superman's so amazing, and then having Batman as a best friend is super. If he didn't have that, it'd just be some guy
named Clark Kent,
who grew up in Kansas.
Or on Krypton.
No, he'd be an alien if he was from Krypton, because Krypton always explodes. Name one universe in which it did not explode.
That one universe.
Bye.
Here's Mr. Hewitt's thumb to give us the seal of approval on my 10 out of 10. 10 out of 10. 10 out of 10. I want you to write 10 out of 10, director, over and over again. 10 out of 10. 10 out of 10. Deathstroke got a comment today. It was pretty good.
We're not talking about it, though.
We're not talking about that.
Go read it if you want to know.
Yeah, jeez, come
What do you
on.
think we are?
You want me to do everything for you?
God! Take some initiative. Sorry.